أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praises and adoration belongs to Almighty God. We beseech Him to shower His blessing and His mercy on His Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu, his household, His companions, His relatives, and everyone that follow the faith of His teaching till the day of reckoning. I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And this morning, I'll be having a spiritual diet or talk on a very essential topic, which is the permissible, the allowable in fasting. What are the permissible in our fasting? When it's permissible, it means what you are allowed to do within the provision or the ambient of law of Almighty God, within the ambient of the do's and don'ts. So we have the do's and the don'ts. And what are the do's? What are you allowed to do when you're fasting? We're going to start now. As a fasting Muslim, there are certain things that when you do them, it has no negative effect on your fasting. Your fasting is intact, it's not null and void. Number one is the usage of chewing stick. You can use chewing stick. It is allowed in our deen, and it's practiced by the Prophet Sallallahu. He used chewing stick because chewing stick is not edible. It is meant for cleaning, for washing. So we can use it to clean or to wash what is washable, what is cleanable. So your mouth should be clean regularly. Don't say that because you're fasting, then you will avoid the cleanliness of your mouth. No. Islam prioritizes cleanliness, so you must be clean. Number two, you are also allowed to have your bath. Bathing is allowed, especially when you feel hot. So you can stay under the shower, or you can go for swimming, or you use normal bathroom to cool your system down, on the condition that the water shouldn't pass through your mouth into your stomach. If that can be avoided, then you are allowed to do such. Number three, a married woman is allowed to taste a food. No, she cook food in the house, and she knows that the husband is troublesome. If the food is too salty or is saltless, she's in soup, so she can have a taste of it. And the only thing she's allowed to do is to just place the food at the tip of the tongue there and taste it. Once she feels the taste, then she can spit it off. That's all. She can taste. Number three, we also allow to travel. As a fasting individual, you can travel, but you have your decision either not to fast or to fast. If you feel like it's comfortable for you, you can fast. Or if you feel like it's not comfortable for you, you can do away from fasting, then you pay the fast later. So you're allowed to travel either by road, by air, or by water, either nearby or a long distance. Then it's also allowed, kissing is allowed between legally married husband and wife, though it is detested by the scholars that we should avoid kissing. But if you are, you are the type who is very disciplined, you can discipline yourself. It's not romantic kissing, just light kissing is allowed. But if you know you can hold yourself, you cannot hold yourself, you will trespass. Avoid kissing. Yeah, avoid kissing. But if you know you can discipline yourself and hold yourself, you can kiss your wife, you can pick your wife. It's allowed in our deen. Injection is also allowed. You can take injection as an individual. When you fall sick, you feel headache, you have malaria, just light sickness. In as much as the injection is not meant for nutrition, it's not nutritional injection that when you take it, you feel like eating. No, just an ordinary injection. It can be taken while in fasting. Then, when you have wet dream, you can be in fast and maybe just fall asleep and have a wet dream. And your wet dream, you discharge. Your fasting is still intact. Your fasting is normal. Nothing happens to your fasting. The only thing is you can just go and clean yourself and take your normal bath. That's a wet dream. Then we also allow to use toothpick. Maybe during fasting you feel like there is some meat or some pigment that hang in there within your teeth. You can use toothpick to bring them out and then discard them. You can discard them. So there's no big deal in that. You're allowed to use toothpick to remove dirt from your mouth. Then a fasting individual can cook. While you're cooking, the aroma of the food can pass through your nose. It doesn't affect your fasting. So you can perceive odor during fasting. It has no effect on your fasting. Then in fasting, you're also permitting if you forgetfully eat. Listen very well and note my statement. Forgetfully eat food. Maybe you forget your fasting and you brunch in the restaurant, buy soft drink, buy food, and eat. Maybe by the time you were just taking the last portion of your meat, somebody reminds you, wow, aren't you fasting? You remember you're fasting, you can just stop where you hang the meat, don't eat again, stop eating, and your fasting is also intact. You just continue your fasting. When Rasulullah was asked about this, he said that it's Allah, your creator, who intend to feed you because by mistake. And there are three conditions that all our actions have overlooked. One of which is when you do mistake, or when somebody is not yet mature. So when you're not yet mature, you don't have any sin. You do something by mistake, and while you are sleeping as well. That's why when I mentioned when you have bad wet dream while sleeping, so you commit no offense, you commit no fornications, just go with the fasting. Then a fasting individual can also vomit. And this time around, it's not vomit of the vomit that comes as a result of your self induction. When you induce the vomit by yourself, you throw up, and the action is caused by you, then the fasting is null and void, is no more intact. And we're also allowed to discontinue our fasting in the early part of the evening. Yes, it's allowed. Once the sun um, sets, once the sun sets, discontinue your fasting. Don't drag it to too long. Then we also allowed to delay our down meal, sahur. Don't take your down meal around 4 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. like 5 p.m., 5:10 p.m. A.m., 5 a.m., 5 p.m., 5 a.m., 5:10 a.m. So you're allowed to do that. So these are little things we want to pass across to you. The permissible during fasting. In our next episode of our video, we're going to discuss the non-permissible, the forbidden thing you should avoid during fasting. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Deen Digest. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.